what about Rangeview Track and Field? You know, I like to stay moving forward, but I kind of feel, and you can check me down if you want or agree with me, like we missed something with Rangeview's Track and Field program not being able to compete because of the pandemic.
Without question. I mean, man, they had 218 athletes, combined boys and girls, and 43 seniors, which is, I mean, I don't typically ask the numbers of all the programs around, but I can't imagine there are too many bigger programs than that in a lot of places. And, you know, Chris Carhart was at Hinckley, and the Hinckley boys finished third in the state 2 years in a row, and I think blew everybody's minds. And he's working similar type of things over there. And man, those kids love him, and they love the way he runs short practices, short, intense practices, and they're out of there in, they were saying sometimes 45 minutes worth of practice. And, you know, track practice can drag and drag and drag, and sometimes you don't get optimal, performances out of your athletes, but I think he does, in part because of how regimented it is and how inclusive it is of a wide variety of athletes. And they did have, a handful of returning state, not a lot of like super high placers, but point scorers who probably would have scored in multiple events, huge relay depth, and some throwers and some like distance guys that might have been able to grab a few points here or there. And, you just add that up if you would have added that up over 3 days, you kind of sometimes never know where you're going to end up at the end.
Well, and Rangeview was going to be on the radar for, those within that track and field community. I talked to Bobby Reyes from Colorado Mile Split on an episode of Prep Spotlight Colorado. Not only were Rangeview names dropped, but then, there was one event that was held before the pandemic shutdown, and, there were some Raiders that were there on the list of those who were at least victorious or doing quite well, right? Now, are any of those guys or girls going to be returning for the following track and field season? Is that a possibility?
I think the majority of just those big elite athlete point scorers, I think we're all seniors.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure on some of the up and comers, and of course with the with the numbers of that size, there's bound to be several talented underclassmen that are coming up. But the names that I know primarily, and the ones that probably would have been the key focus were seniors, so they will be missed for sure.